got head coach Hank Plona. Coach will open up with a statement and we'll jump into questions.
Obviously happy to get 2 home wins over the weekend. Our league is anybody can beat anybody. I think we've learned that year after year after year. So it's good to beat Sam Houston State and Louisiana Tech at home, and obviously now it's our turn to prove that we can figure out how to get a road win or 2. So obviously at New Mexico State Thursday night, at UTEP Saturday, an important stretch for us, and obviously we could come out of it feeling really good if we were able to prove that we can take our act on the road and get a win or 2. So going to prepare today, leave tomorrow, and obviously get ready for New Mexico State on Thursday night.
This first one looks like a very competitive game, not just based on records. I think you guys are neck and neck in the net ratings and a lot of other things. Kind of your early impressions on New Mexico State, what you expect from them?
Yeah, they're undefeated at home. They've got off to a really good start this year. They've gotten some big wins. I think they were expected to be a very good team in our league, picked pretty high, and they have big, strong, athletic guys, can shoot and score the ball, athletic front line, have some guards, a lot of experience, so I think they're a very talented team. I think they've gone through some ups and downs here in the last month or so, just like most of us have. I know they dropped 2 on the road, but obviously played very, got off to a slow start at Missouri State in the last game, played very competitively, got back, took the lead in the second half. They're going to fight, they're going to claw, and I'm sure coming off of a tough road trip, they have a full week at home to prepare, so I would think they'll be ready to go, and we've been down there the last 2 years, and we know that it's a very difficult place, and they're going to be juiced up and ready to go, so we need to bring our A game to get a win on Thursday.
You're pretty used to these Thursday, Saturday road game weekends now. It's not easy for sure. How do you kind of help prepare the team for this? Is there anything you can do?
I don't know. I think you overcomplicate all that stuff. It distracts from the team. I don't know what potential answer to that question helps. I think staying focused on what we're doing and focused on the opponent and focused on getting ready and focused on the things that we can control, I think that helps you. So hey, the road trip is what it is. We have a game on Thursday night versus New Mexico State, and I think between now and then, all of our energy has to go into being successful during that game.
Just looking at some of the NCAA leaders too, you guys have been really solid with your bench points this year. I think you rank probably among the conference leaders, but Mexico State's 19th nationally in that category. What does that signify, if anything? Just the depth, or is it, you're hiding some starters at times? Why does that happen that way?
It probably happens because, I don't know, some teams start their 5 leading scorers and they play them the whole time, and some teams are trying to figure out what's going on. If this whole team returned next year, we would probably have a clear idea about what our best rotation would be. I think they have a brand new team just like we do, so I think you're trying to figure some things out. I think that's a little bit of I don't know that really matters, to be honest with you. I think by this time of year, you play, the kid Jones played 30, he started every game, he played 32 minutes off the bench for them last game. I don't know that maybe you're trying to send a message to him. Maybe he needs to, maybe he was inconsistent in practice. Maybe his injury bothered him. I'm not really sure, but I don't think it really matters. Here for us, sometimes we start our Mellow Boone, sometimes we don't. It doesn't, there's no message or we're just trying to figure out what the matchup for our rotation. So, he's going to have a chance to score a lot of points whether he starts or not. So, to me, I think you got to focus on our Mellow Boone. I don't think you focus on whether he starts or comes off the bench. So, I think, the kid Elliott's come off the bench for them most of the year, and he's a very, very good player. Like I said, last game Jones comes off the bench. He's a very good player. So I think you got to focus on who they're. When we just played Sam Houston, Isaiah Manning comes off the bench. He had 23 points. So whether they start or not, you got to know who their players are. And I think each team probably, as you get into this midpoint of the season, you try to figure out a rotation that works, and you try to figure out lineups that work, and you try to figure out a flow, whatever you're rewarding for your team that works. But I think we've started to settle in on kind of what we're doing, and I think they've been in a pretty good groove with what they've been doing too. So I think you got to focus on that. I think they do have 8, 9, 10 players that are all very very talented and can put the ball in the bucket, and whether they start or come off the bench, we know that kind of whoever gets going is going to be the guy that's in the game.
You talked about, on Sunday at least, still wanting to see like a rock solid 40-minute stretch from these guys. What do you think that's going to take? Maybe some keys to potentially see that this weekend.
Man, just you try to focus on, not to be too coach speak, but one play at a time. Like the score doesn't matter. The what just happened doesn't matter. What you want to happen doesn't matter. Conserving energy doesn't matter. Like it's every possession, every play. Just blocking out all the other reasons to not stay right in the moment and to try to lock in. And I think we let shooting affect us the other day. Like we got some good looks to start the second half, and then all of a sudden those don't go in, and I think we got frustrated and we got stuck on 49 there. I think then we started shooting some shots that, all right, we're almost trying to, all right, this was working 30 minutes ago, why isn't it working now, rather than staying in that moment. So no matter what happens, you just got to kind of stay in the moment and put pressure on the paint and be aggressive and have a team-oriented mindset. And don't get me wrong, I think other people are struggling to, when we make runs, don't get me wrong, the other team's struggling to put 40, I'm sure they feel like they're struggling to put 40 minutes together as well. But I just think our consistency and our togetherness and our communication and our resiliency, like staying in the 8-0 run, man, we got to get the next 4 points. If they went on an 8-0 run, we got to get the next 4 points. Like no matter what the situation, just staying right there in the moment. And I think kind of universally across college basketball, that's become a challenge for all of us. I think it's, and again, I think the new team concept is part of that. I mean, we have 5 points returning from last year, so like we've played 14 games, and trust me, I'd like by 14 games to be a finished product, but I think the reality is we're still figuring ourselves out. So just learning I thought we did a good job. I mean, the other day when they got up 61-60 and we got a foul, got a stop, got the rebound, made 2 foul shots, got to stop, got the rebound. Like that is staying really, we did a good job staying in the moment in the last minute of that game and not letting the previous 39 minutes affect us. And just you try to do that for all 40.
You guys went up against a kind of a premier field goal defensive team in Louisiana Tech. Looks like you got another one here in New Mexico State. Do they do it the same way? How are they different? How are they effective?
Yeah, no, they put a little more pressure on you. I mean, I think they're aggressive. They're probably a little similar with their mindset to us, and I think their intent is to be aggressive in everything they do while protecting the rim. I think they try to, their guards are going to get up in you, and sometimes their front court guys will stay back a little bit to try to get you to shoot difficult twos or pull-ups. But I mean, certainly I would think coming off of their stretch, I would think we're going to see an aggressive offense and an aggressive defense. I think that's their personality as a whole, and I think that they've been very successful, especially in Las Cruces, when they have an aggressive, confident mindset. So I would think there'll be some pressure, but it's the teams are really good. I mean, I think the best defensive teams, it's no different than football. You put a lot of pressure on the ball while protecting yourself in the back and at the rim, and you try to make teams live in that kind of difficult, low percentage, mid-range type area, and I think they do a very good job of that.
Looking ahead at this UTEP team, I know they're still looking for their first win in the conference, but is there anything about them that stands out to you?
No, I haven't watched them as closely. But yeah, I mean, they played in Ruston, Louisiana, in Springfield, Missouri, and then in Miami, Florida. So they've been trekking literally across the United States of America playing these games. So I know that their overall record stands out as a game. Oh, this should be a game we should win. Nonsense. As soon as you think you should win anything in this league, you lose. And hopefully we've already learned that. If somehow we looked at Jacksonville State's record and we thought we should win, hopefully you're humbled real quick. So I think UTEP always plays strong and physical. They're going to be aggressive on defense. They're going to pressure out. They're going to deny the wings. They're going to hedge ball screens. They're going to attack the rim. And on those quick turnarounds, I mean, I know home teams went 6 for 6 on Saturday afternoon this past Saturday, and I think I think when you're at home you can be more aggressive. So I'm sure we're going to get their best effort. If they win versus Middle on Thursday, they'll be juiced up and they'll be right back in the thick of it. If they lose versus Middle, then their backs are going to be against the wall, and they're going to have an aggressive mindset in what they do. So always on this trip, both teams are so physical and both teams pressure you. We have to make sure that we are mentally and physically staying sharp and staying our absolute best and not letting any either doubt or overconfidence creep into what we do. Because you look at UTEP's record, I think they're 4-10. man, if you play at 99.5% instead of 100 because you see that and you think it's going to be easy, you're done from the start. So I think that's probably going to be as big of a challenge, regardless of the result on Thursday, as anything, because obviously historic program, great basketball team, great basketball coach, that they've won a ton of games year after year, and it's always a war, it's always a physical battle when you play these two teams.
I'm sure you guys have done most of your work, obviously even for that second game, but how useful is that Thursday game that UTEP's playing for your scout? Do you send somebody to that game Thursday? Is that helpful?
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. So you're only allowed to in-person scout during the MTEs. So when we're in the Bahamas, we sit there and watch, and it would be extremely helpful, to be honest with you. I actually don't know why they don't allow it. I don't think in Division I it's been allowed for a long time. Obviously, this is my third year coaching at this level, but yeah, it would be great. But you can't. So, but no, it'll be helpful. I think whatever a team does most, after their long, they had 3 games in 6 days, just like we all did on the road. So, man, you're figuring that out on the fly, and then you kind of have 4 days to gather and prepare and practice and figure out what worked, what didn't work. So I would think Thursday will be the best kind of resemblance of how they will play. Like they'll work for 4 days to figure out to do more of what did work and to do less of what didn't. And I would think how they play on Thursday night, and obviously the varying degree of success that probably impacts Saturday. Obviously, us in middle, know each other a little bit. So even though it's 100 miles of hate, we try to sometimes in those games where the quick turnaround or we're in the same place, be civil and maybe trade some secrets if somehow we think that'll help. So you try to get prepared. My staff, I haven't watched UTEP at all. I know my staff has, and obviously they'll have that thing down to a T. And I'm sure probably on the bus ride from Las Cruces to El Paso, I mean, we have these games immediately. So I would think by midnight we'll have watched their game and start preparing for them.
Who on your staff handles that one this time?
I believe Josh Newman has UTEP. Martin has New Mexico State for sure. I think Josh has UTEP, but I'm not lying when I say I haven't even asked about UTEP yet.
Just wanted to ask you just another random thing too. Offensive rebounds, you guys rank, I think, 7th nationally right now according to the latest rankings, but only 3rd in Conference USA, which is just, does that signify anything at all?
I think we have a strong physical league. Like, I think this league is always just, this is not a league for the weak at heart. This is not a finesse league. It's not really, and I'd say, and it could be why, Liberty's been very successful because they're not really an offensive rebounding team. They play slow. They're very efficient on offense. They are very skilled. They shoot it well. I mean, they have a big kid that averages 8 assists a game. So many other people play a similar style. It's something that we've actually thought long and hard about because I think they've had a lot of success playing a little bit of a different style. But I mean, I think the rest of us kind of, we trot out a lineup that physically, height and weight-wise, could match up with anybody. I mean, we played Vanderbilt, where we're bigger than they are in the front court, for sure, and so I think our league is big, strong, tough, physical, and a lot of the coaches have a very aggressive mindset. So I think a lot of teams build their identity that way. I think our offensive rebound percentage, which is probably a little bit more important, is I think we're 30 or 40 or something like that. But obviously we play a fast pace, so there's a lot of possessions. Jacksonville State game, and we got a lot of offensive rebounds and didn't really convert them. Sam Houston, we got a lot of offensive rebounds, and we did convert them, and it was a big part of winning the game. I thought versus Louisiana Tech, because we made shots in the first half, all of a sudden we got a little lazy, crashing the glass early in the second half, but I thought as the game wore on, we did a little bit better. So I think for our basketball team, our three-point percentage has been getting better. Our two-point percentage has not been very good. So if you're not going to shoot the ball at a high percentage, I think offensive rebounding becomes an extremely important part. And when you miss twos, those rebounds usually fall right off near the basket. So, for our current team and our current situation, I think it has been a focal point, and we need to continue doing well at it.
I was going to follow up. Is there a good balance that you're looking for between makes and offensive rebounds if you don't make them? Like, what's a good shooting percentage? And
well, I don't know. I mean, we need our shooting percentage to be way better than it is. I guess,
if you're 100% shooting, I guess you don't need any offense.
Exactly. So I don't think you compare that. I mean, I think if we can get 35 or 40% of our misses, that's pretty good, you know? So I'd like to shoot 100. I'd like to get 0 offensive rebounds in a game because we'd like to make every shot. So that would be ideal, but that hasn't happened quite yet. So I think if we're only getting 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 4, if we're down in the 20 to 25% of our misses, that's not very good, you know? So I think, but at the same time, if you don't want to miss too many shots where you're assuming you're missing either. So, but if we can be in that 35 to 40% of our misses, if we can get those, and then you hope to have more points than offensive rebounds, that tells you you're converting more than half of them. So I think the other game we had 24 offensive rebounds, maybe 33 points, whereas at Jack State it was 25 offensive rebounds and 13 points, which is a bad conversion rate. Like, we have to be strong and finish. One of the biggest things we've been emphasizing is score, make your shot. And as a coach, I usually don't like saying make your shot, like, because you don't want to think about that too much. But on offensive rebounds and 2-point shots, yeah, make it. Don't focus on maybe being fouled. Don't focus on maybe where the defense. Make your shot. Get it. Play off 2 feet. Be strong. Make the shot. So I think we've done a better job at that. Certainly in the Sam Houston game we did.
Update on a couple of guys that may or may not be available this weekend, too.
Terrion is a full go in practice today, has been cleared, so as of right now, he's available. We'll figure out after a couple of days exactly what he'll do. Louis still has not been cleared with his back. If he can't play this weekend, I guess going on a 5-day road trip probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense with a back injury, so we'll see how he does between today and tomorrow morning and go from there.
Everybody else good to go?
Everybody's good to go. I mean, as far as right now, we did not practice yesterday. I just saw Cam Hafner. I think his ankle got turned a little bit. I think he landed kind of weird when he hit the basket. He seems completely good to go. I'd be surprised if he's not there. Noah turned his ankle during the game, got back out there, helped us win. Those guys all got treatment yesterday, and I don't think we have any issues with Noah, Cam, or anybody else.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.